Hello and welcome back to Rev Endurance Sports and a quick debrief on the 200K that Jessica and I did on Saturday, October the 5th. And wow, it was hot. Okay, so 200K, let's talk about the course, weather, equipment, nutrition, the strategy for getting Jess through it, and the tips, some tips about riding in the heat and recovery. This is just a teaser. Jess and I shot a debrief on this, or a rev show, if you will. And but I need to do some editing and throw up some graphics and stuff like that. So this is just to get you, what is it? To whet your appetite, and then you can watch the longer form. So let's talk about just the very basics about this event. It was a 200K with 3140 meters of climbing, so 124 miles, point 0.4, with 10,800 feet of climbing. The featured climb for the event was called Kitchen Creek, or is called Kitchen Creek. And essentially, it's about a 13-ish mile climb. It's only going to climb about 1,000 meters, so it's not even that hard of a climb. It only goes to 6,000 foot elevation, so whatever that is in meters, 1,800 something. But the heat, it was so hot. It was 109 degrees recorded. I went into the almanac to see what the actual recorded temps were. So what is that? 40 something degrees, 42 Celsius. So very hot. In and of itself, the climb isn't that difficult, but because of the heat, really hard day. So the good news about this route was it had very few turns, like 19 turns, and 6 stop signs and no traffic lights. That's from the RBA. Yeah, so the headline, no flats, no mechanicals. A lot of folks DNF'd, unfortunately. Some, I think, because of tire issues. I carry a frame pump and I ride tubeless, and I still carry tubes and patches. So I don't know if that gentleman was just not did not have enough, or maybe there was an issue with his wheel. So yeah, just a lot of climbing. I mean, it had climbs all the way up until like the last 4 miles. You did like a 2 or 1.5 mile climb, and then you dropped, and then you had this false flat drag up to the finish. So bike setup, I did a video, so there'll be a link down below. I went with 32 tires because of my brake calipers. Jesse had 30 tires. There was a mixed terrain section, but really just tore up pavement is more like it. I wouldn't really call it gravel. And we went with 3 bottles. Went with the burrito bag, and I had plenty of fuel throughout. As a matter of fact, when I did the numbers after the fact, I was right on target. It was 10 hours total on the bike, 9:15 pedal time, and I came up with 3,300 calories. So I mean, it just naturally starts to work out if you plan ahead, and you just continue to fuel. Now I'm able to fuel with my energy product, which I strongly suggest you folks get on it. But I'm able to fuel 300 plus calories per hour without no gas, no bloating, no GI distress, and no burping, right? So this is a very important component of riding endurance rides. There's actually a video I want to do a reaction to, and it was GCN. They did some, I think it was October 3rd, so it's a very recent video. And they talked about 7 things for endurance riding. So I want to do a reaction to that and add a few things from my perspective. It won't be all inclusive, but just a few things that I want to add to the list. Our strategy for the day was to just basically ride at zone 2. Zone 2, maybe upper portion of zone 2. Keep Jesse on my wheel. I stayed out in front for all 124 miles, and that was my job. I was the domestique, and Jessie was the featured rider. She was the GC contender, so we needed to keep her on the wheel and keep her safe and keep her out of the wind and keep her fueled. So we went nice and easy all day, and we just kept catching people at controls or passing them on the road. So you don't have to go hard. You just have to stop less. Stop less, stop less often, and not as long. And then you will move down the course a lot faster, right? You just get in the habit of moving through a control 2, 3, 4 minutes, get out, right? There were only 4 controls from what I recall, or 4 controls that we stopped at. Mile 35.8, 56.6, mile 71, and mile 95. And with all the stops included, our stop time was 36 minutes. And so that is how you stay efficient getting down the course. You get in, you fill your bottles, you do what you got to do, you get going, right? I even had time for blueberry pie. So did Jess. Or I think she had the apple pie. I forget which one she had. I had the blueberry apple pie. There were a couple of busy sections on this course, but all told, I mean, just the course was just awesome. You get out towards the rim of our desert, and you get up to 109 degrees, and then you climb up to 6,000 foot elevation. It's just a beautiful course. The volunteers that were on the course, Tim Sullivan and another gentleman named Ozzy, just wow. Thanks for being out there, because it was really, really hot, and you folks had to endure that as well. But you provided some water, and you provided some other tasty treats, like I said. And Jess had some cookies at one of the controls, because Tim had that at, I think that was mile 56.6. Clothing, we knew it was going to be really hot, so we went with something really thin, arm coolers, Velocio jerseys. That's something you could purchase through the store. Pearl Izumi bibs, something else you can purchase through the store. Lake shoes, that's what I wore. CX403s, something else you can purchase through the store. Yeah, the heat. I mean, we really went into it on our rev show, but I believe there were quite a few DNFs because of the heat, and they didn't even ride in the hottest part of the day yet. They pulled off the course. It was good the way the course was made, because there was kind of a bailout. Then again, is that good to have a bailout? Because then you you end up pulling off the course. When if it was a big loop course, then you just kind of keep doing it, right? Yeah, so I talked a lot about the fact that when you're really going under this heat, fatigue, exhaustion, you're not thinking clearly, and so you really should be riding with a buddy. So I talked about that. Talked about how on my 500 milers, and also when I did, so that's what, 800 something K, also when I did Race Across America, I just kind of got through the day, right? The really hot parts of the day, just kind of tempo or zone 2. And then once the sun set, then you make your money, right? You start going a little harder. At that point, you can really start digesting what you're taking in, and it's cooler. And even if it's 80 degrees, that's cooler than 100 plus, right? And then recovery, we talked about how we always make a pot of food when we know we've got one of these events. That way, when we come home, or even on the drive home, you're passing all these fast food places, you're hungry, but you hold off, you get home, you have a nice home cooked meal, and you just heat it up in a microwave and you just eat. Normatec boots, we use that for recovery, and then a big bowl of ice cream because ice cream makes everything better. Okay, there is your quick summary of the 200K. Strava link will be down below. Take a look. Give Jess some kudos because, man, this was a hard day, a hard course on a good day, but made much harder with her lack of training and the heat. The heat was just really bad. We're climbing up some of this stuff, and you have a tailwind, and it feels like you're in a convection oven. I mean, it's just so hot. Anyway, if you're not on Rev Energy for your endurance or even your club rides, your group rides where you need to stay fueled, hit me up because this is really what's making the difference for a lot of folks. Got a lot of repeat business, local folks mailing stuff away because it works. Super easy on your stomach, no flavor, no electrolytes, no protein, no fat, nothing else but complex, clean, complex carbs, no sugars, so it's not going to upset your stomach. Okay, please like and subscribe. Look out for that other video of Jess and I doing a long format debrief on the Kitchen Creek 200K. Thanks so much. Please like and subscribe. We'll see you up the road.